All right, guys, let's go ahead and turn on over to the NBA. The NBA season has been on hold for a while now, but it's easy to remember the top teams. The Lakers and Clippers have dominated out west, while Milwaukee has stayed head and shoulders above the East. But after that, it appears several teams could covet that fourth best team position. The Nuggets, Raptors, Jazz, Sixers, Celtics, and Heat could all have cases made, but who really is the fourth best team in the league, Drink?
Well, hey, listen. First of all, I'm gonna roll off with the Boston Celtics, man, and I got a couple of reasons why. My first reason, hey, before, and I want to caveat this, before COVID-19, these guys, they was hot. They was coming in hot. They was doing their thing. They had the ingredients. You say to yourself, what are the ingredients? Well, let me tell you a little something. All right, ingredient number one. I felt like they had an all-star, Jason Tatum, and he was starting to ascend to the possibility of being a superstar. Once you have a player of that magnitude, like we just seen the Kobe's and we watching the Jordan documentaries and we watching when you got that young player that wants it, and Jason Tatum looked like he wants it, and he started sending himself into that superstar, that's ingredient number one. Because now the team can rally around that young guy. Ingredient number two, this, I guess you could say this kind of on Brad Stevens, but I like how this team plays a high fundamental toughness on defense. Okay, what are you talking about, Drink? To help us out here. This defense, right? It's so fundamental based that they could plug me in and I could look like I know what I'm doing out there on the NBA level. That's what I mean. What I mean is it's a difference between the way they play defense and the way they say the Lakers play defense. The Lakers play good defense, but you take Anthony Davis out the mix, that defense started just flopping all around. Somebody come and get this fish and put them in the cooler. Because it's flopping all around. Like, what are we doing here? Well, with the Celtics, I can take the likes of Jason Tatum or Gordon Hayward or even Kemba Walker. Take them out of the team, plug them in with that bench player. The only one that's probably irreplaceable is Marcus Smart, maybe. He's probably the only one that's irreplaceable. The rest of them, you could just, checkmate, and you still got good defense that travels. This is the key. You need a defense that travels. Because we look at the 76ers, oh, yeah, that's like bread at home. But then when they go on the road, they're the worst thing since stale bread. And that ain't it. We need a little more consistency. So I like that whole fundamental defense piece that they got that can travel. And then my third piece is the head coach. Here's the deal. This head coach has gotten everyone that's on this team to buy in. He is allowed to coach these guys as a team, not as a bunch of individuals. He coached them as a team. The number one problem with the Boston Celtics last year was he was too busy trying to manage individuals and manage egos. Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, where he got hurt, but he was trying to figure out how do I coach Kyrie? How do I coach Gordon Hayward? How do I coach Al Horford? Now he got these young guys that's kind of connected at the hip. You don't really distinguish one guy from the other one. The only one you really distinguish is Jason Tatum because he ascending. Even though Kemba Walker is an all-star, his personality don't allow him to, distract the team. He still play within the system. So that allows Brad Stevens to work on those X's and O's. And listen, this is what I've learned throughout my time of watching the NBA. When you got a team that can play like that focus, they usually overachieve. They don't underachieve. You think I'm lying? Look at the Los Angeles Clippers last year. That team was connected at the hip defensively. Didn't have no stars. Didn't have no business being in that series with Golden State. However, they go and they push Golden State. You got Kevin Durant out here talking about, hey, man, because I'm Kevin Durant. I ain't got to explain this. Well, actually, you do, because we wonder what the hell is going on, KD. When Patrick Beverly is out here looking like Gary Payton, he out here looking like he putting the clamps on you, and we want to know what's going on. So, yes, you do got to explain it to us. But that's just that was a byproduct of that team buying into each other, that team playing connected at the hip. And that's what I see out of the Boston Celtics, man. I see those tangibles, and that would allow them to beat majority of the teams in the Eastern Conference and get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, I don't know if it's enough to beat Milwaukee quite yet, because you don't really got a Giannis stopper. However, if I had to place a bet right now for a team to beat Milwaukee, I think I will go with the Boston Celtics over the Miami Heat, because I think the Miami Heat is a team that has a chance to beat them. But I go with Boston just because I think they're built more for the long term. They built for a 7-game series in the Eastern Conference Finals. So, yeah, man, the Boston Celtics is my team, man. That's my fourth best team.
Yeah, this is an interesting discussion because we've talked about pretty much all year the top 3 teams that separated themselves with the Lakers, Clippers, and Bucks. And we by the way, we expected the Philadelphia 76ers to be there as well. Didn't quite pan out, but that's a story for another day. But I have to agree though. I think Boston is the team that I'd go with as being the next team up, and a lot of it has to do with what we saw in the post All-Star break before COVID-19 hit us, and that's Jason Tatum. The maturity and development and that next step he has taken towards superstardom. We saw it. We saw him against the Lakers on that Sunday, one of those showcase games, just going toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the West. And, that's something we've seen consistently. Made his first All-Star team. And, again, I'll go back to one of the things I always bring up with this team. They got 4 B to B-plus players. And with that being said, that leaves them – they got a ceiling. And because you can only make it so far without a 1. And if you don't believe me, go find the Atlanta Hawks teams from years past when they had 4 All-Stars and Jeff Teague, Kyle Korver, Paul Millsap, and Al Horford. And in reality, I mean, let's get rid. None of those guys really were All-Stars. They just won 60 games, and let's throw them all in there. I mean, Kyle Korver. Come on, man. But look, the point is, when you look at having that much quality players, because I think Boston, all 4 of these guys are all-star players, all-star caliber. We've seen Gordon Hayward make an all-star team. Kemba was in the all-star game as a starter this year. We talk about Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is going to make an all-star team when it's all said and done. He's really good. So, but you have to have one of those guys take that next step and be that lead dude, because Milwaukee's got Giannis. The Lakers have LeBron, and they got AD. They got 2 guys. Same thing with the Clippers with PG-13 and Kawhi. So we get all that. Boston's got to have one of those dudes, and now they have it with what Jason Tatum's been giving you. So you have that number 1 dude. And to your point about Milwaukee, we don't know about Jason Tatum going toe-to-toe with Giannis as that number 1 dude, and we know when your point is excellent about Boston. They don't have a Giannis stopper. I mean, Marcus Smart can probably be an irritant for a little bit, but you're getting overpowered, boy. I don't care how much flopping you do. So, but again, Marcus Smart, not to knock him too much, but he's a key part of this team when you talk about defense, and he's actually a capable 3-point shooter now. He's not an embarrassment as he was in years past. So I got some love for Marcus Smart in that instance. Just stop flopping. But listen, Kemba, and then Jaylen Brown and Gordon Hayward. You got some horses out there. And Kemba Walker is that dude. We talked about it before the season began. Kemba Walker is not as talented as Kyrie Irving, but he's a team guy. He can fit in on this team, and definitely to the benefit of, last but not least, to Brad Stevens, who's an upper echelon coach who can make more with less. He can do that. So I agree. Boston would be my pick, but I will say this. We cannot but so much short sell Toronto. Toronto's been the second best team in the East all season. Pascal Siakam has shown us he's earned his money. He started the All-Star game this year too. We can't forget about that. And you talk about defense. Toronto locks in defensively too. They're excellent. We give heat to Kyle Lowry and some of these guys, but they lock in on defense. I mean, you got Serge Ibaka back there. Norman Powell, he's showing you something. He can score the basketball. A lot of stuff to like. And Nick Nurse can coach. So I just want to, even though I got Boston, I just want to mention Toronto because I think we'd be doing a disservice if we completely overlook them.
Yeah, when I look at the top 4 team, the fourth best team, I'm going to have to look in the East because I think the Clippers, Lakers kind of shut that down, and that'll be your Western Conference Finals most likely. But in the East, you can really make the argument for 2 other teams. Jay brought one of them up in the Toronto Raptors. Philly should have a case too. They really should. But we just the talent is not matching the productivity that they had, and there's so many injury concerns, and just with them staying healthy, staying focused, it's so hard to really sell me on the fact that Philly is truly a top 4 team, although they should be. Um, but Toronto again, that's a team that you would have to look at, right? But not only that, with Pascal Siakam, he's also averaging 24 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, and 3.6 assists. His player efficiency rating is very high, and the guy is kind of on that cusp of superstardom. Maybe he's not quite there yet, but he's not far off. I mean, again, he's starting the All-Star game, so in some arguments he'd be close. But in addition to him, you still got a really heady point guard in Boris Soap, regardless of his missingness in the playoffs sometimes. And that squad's deep, man. Beyond their starting 5, you can get a big game from Anunoby, Ibaka, Van Vliet any given night. One of those dudes can just boom, and then they just go off, And there's not only that, there's a couple bench guys that also have a little bit of that volatility to kind of jump up any given game. And I think that Miami is another team that will at least have the argument. You got Jimmy Butler, kind of anchoring the leadership. Bam Adebayo's on the rise. But I feel like with Miami, the problem more is after that, you're kind of relying on some rookies. You got Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Herro, like guys that they're great. They're just raw, and you're not going to get that consistency that you would need from them this year, night in and night out, to make that push to the fourth best team. Any given night, I mean, Miami could beat any of these squads any given night. But in a 7-game series, am I going to get what I need from these guys, the rookies especially, every single night? And my question to that is probably no. So, when I look at it and I compare, okay, well, Boston versus, I go with Toronto, and I think, okay, well, yeah, these 2 squads match up evenly in a lot of ways. They have great head coaches. They're deep. They're not just, one superstar. But to me, Kemba and Tatum, especially Tatum, and that superstar gear he has and he's developed gets Boston past Toronto, in my opinion. And I think the overall experience of the Celtics team, beyond just Tatum and Walker, but the other guys have been on the block for a while too, like Brown, like Smart, and then with the coach, would best the Heat in a 7-game series over the course of time. So, yeah, overall, I think Boston is the 4th team as well, but there's 2 other teams in the East that are close. Maybe next year, if Miami can keep this experiment together, they could push, and then Toronto's going to be a factor as long as they have a great GM keeping the picks coming for them.